Hello there.
Okay, welcome everyone. Today, Unit 6 grammar lessons from the textbook. We are going to focus on modal verbs. Okay, apa itu modal verbs? That's what we are going to learn today. Okay. Basically, the modal verbs are these words. Okay, perkataan-perkataan ini dia terlibat sebagai modal verbs. We have can, and the past version would be could. We have may. The past version would be might. We have must. Same for our present and past version. And then we have shall, as well as should for the past version. And then will and would. Okay, if you see these words, they are modal verbs. However, we still are not clear what is modal verbs. Sometimes it is called modals. We use modals to show if we believe something is certain. Okay, pasti ya, sesuatu yang pasti. Possible, mungkin. Or impossible, tak mungkin. Example of the sentences here. My keys must be in the car. Kunci saya mesti dalam kereta. It might rain tomorrow. Mungkin hujan esok. That can't be Peter's coat. It's too small. Tak mungkin lah tu baju Peter. Kecil sangat. Okay, that's the example. Another reason of why we use modal verbs are when we use them to do things like talking about ability, kebolehan, ability to do something, bolehan membuat sesuatu. Ask permission, kita nak minta izin atau minta kebenaran sesuatu. Please teacher, may I go to the toilet or bathroom or something like that. And then make requests and offers. Okay, minta pertolongan atau membuat permintaan lah, sesuatu permintaan. Offers, tawaran atau bantuan yang diberikan. Okay, example sentence, I can't swim. Okay, saya tak boleh berenang. That's your ability, that's your kebolehan. Tidak boleh ataupun boleh. I can swim, saya boleh berenang. I can't swim, saya tidak boleh berenang. May I ask a question? Okay, nak minta kebenaran untuk tanya soalan. Could I have some tea please? Awak nak buat permintaan, request. Would you like some help? You are offering a help. Maybe you see some old lady carrying too much of the grocery items. Maybe you want to help her. Okay, now we are going to go a bit in depth for each of these modal verbs. Okay, in our 6.1 we have the ability. Remember what was ability? Kebolehan. So we use can, the word can, to talk about ability in the present, and could to talk about ability in the past. We can use be able to talk about ability in the present, past or future. Okay, for be able to boleh guna bila-bila lah, regardless present tense, past tense or future tense. Okay, example sentences we have here. I can speak French, or you can say I am able to speak French. Okay, I can speak French, or I am able to speak French. Next, another sentence here is she couldn't swim when she was 5. She couldn't swim when she was 5. Or you can use another version, be able to punya version. She wasn't able to swim when she was 5. She wasn't able to swim when she was 5. Okay, dia tidak boleh berenang pada usia 5. Okay, mungkin sekarang dia boleh, kita tak tahu keadaan dia. Another time we can use ability, or when do we use ability? Meaning the words can and could. We can use could or was or were, if plural, able to talk about general ability in the past. Okay, sesuatu kebolehan kita pada masa dulu. To talk about a single completed action in the past, sesuatu perbuatan yang dah disiapkan in the past, we must use was or were able to. We cannot use could. Yang ni tak boleh pakai could kalau benda tu dah siap. Okay, let's check the example. She could dance when she was young. She could dance when she was young. Or you can say she was able to dance when she was young. She was able to dance when she was young. Okay, this is for the first example. Yang second tu yang dah completed punya action. The police were able to arrest the criminal last night. The police were able to arrest the criminal last night. Okay, dah siap dah, dah tangkap habis dah. You cannot use could. The police could arrest the criminal last night is wrong. Okay, sebab dia dah tangkap. Kalau belum tangkap lagi, mungkin you can use could. Okay, we move on to the second part, permission. Okay, modal verbs using for permission. We can use can, could, or may to ask for permission. And we can use can or may to give or refuse permission. Okay, can, could dengan may bila nak minta kebenaran atau izin. Can or may bila awak nak beri ataupun nak menafikan satu permintaan yang dah diminta tadi tu. Okay, let's look at the example. Could I telephone my lawyer, please? Okay, you are asking. You can use can, could, or may depending on the context. You can see the prisoner now. Awak diberi kebenaran untuk melihat melawat prisoner, orang yang dalam jail tu. His parents may not speak to him yet. Okay, parents dia, ibu ayah dia tidak dibenarkan bercakap dengan dia buat masa sekarang. Okay, maybe he was arrested for something. They cannot meet the parents cannot meet him yet. So may not, refuse permission. Okay, tidak membenarkan. Another time to use permission, we can use can or be allowed to. Okay, the word can ataupun be allowed to. To talk about permission in the present or future. Okay, yang dah berlaku sekarang ataupun yang belum berlaku. One example here we have, he can leave the police station tomorrow afternoon. Okay, he can leave tomorrow afternoon. He will be allowed to leave the police station tomorrow afternoon. Okay, dia panjang sikit, be allowed to. Kenapa the will? Because future tense. Okay, so the short version you just use can, tak payah yang panjang. Another way and another time when you can use modal verb for permission is to talk about the past. We use could or was, were allowed to. Okay, depending on singular or plural for general permission. And we use was or were allowed to for permission on a particular occasion. Okay, yang spesifik, yang khusus. Number one example here we have, she could use the phone whenever she wanted. She could use the phone whenever she wanted. Or you can use she was allowed to use the phone whenever she wanted. Dia dibenarkan lah, you give the permission. Number two, the example for the second way of using was or were allowed to here is, he was allowed to make one telephone call from the police station. He was allowed to make one telephone call from the police station. Okay, ini specific particular occasion. You cannot use could. Okay, kenapa was? Because singular. If it's plural, you change into were. That's the difference. Okay, we move on into the third modal verb usage, request. Okay, permintaan. We use the word can, could, will, or would to ask someone to do something for us. Could and were are more polite. The polite form you use could or would. Okay, so we have two examples here when you want to ask for some help. Can you lend me some money, please? Or could you lend me some money, please? Okay, again, could would sound a bit more polite. Okay, lebih sopan. Another example here. Will you ask the next witness to come in now, please? Ataupun, would you ask the next witness to come in now, please? Okay. Okay, the request version is very short. The explanation is when you want to ask for something, want to ask for help. Another one we have here is, or the two items here, offers and suggestions. Okay, suggestions tu cadangan, offers tu awak nak beri bantuan or something, menawarkan bantuan awak. We can use can, could, shall I, or would you like me to offer to do something for someone. Okay, the example here, can I speak to him for you? Saya nak bercakap dengan dia bagi pihak awak. Okay, awak nak bagi tawaran yang awak nak tolong dia. Could I speak to him for you? Or shall I speak to him for you? Okay, another one here we have, would you like me to speak to him for you? Awak nak saya ke pergi cakap dengan dia? Maybe you want to ask that person for something, you are shy. Then another friend of yours would like to ask that person for you. We use can or could to make suggestions. Okay. She can write him a letter. atau she could write him a letter. Okay, to make suggestions, you can use the word can or could. You don't use would or something, or shall or something. Okay, you want to make suggestion, bagi cadangan. Another one we have here for modal verb is the category for obligation and necessity. Okay, obligation tu kewajipan, necessity dasar keperluan. Okay, perlu. We use must, have to, or need to express obligation. Okay, kewajipan. You have to do this, you have to do that, you need to do this. Okay, if you have heard those sentences before, obligation. We can use must for the present or future, and we can use have to and need to for the present, past or future. Okay, have to dengan need to tak kira present, past or future. Must is for present and future only, cannot use past. Okay, the example sentences we have: we must tell the police everything we know. We must tell the police everything we know. Okay, kita perlu, wajib bagi tahu. Okay, if you are a witness in a crime or something. He had to hire a lawyer. He had to hire a lawyer. Okay, dia perlulah ni, keperluan dia dah untuk upah peguam for whatever crime he's being accused of. You will need to describe the man you saw. You will need to describe the man you saw. Okay, awak perlu ceritakan, memberi deskripsi tentang orang yang awak jumpa. Mungkin awak ni adalah saksi, witness in a crime. Okay, 6.6 is a bit long. Lack of obligation. Okay, ketiadaan kewajipan. You don't have to do something. Tak wajib lah. So, the explanation here. We use don't have to, don't need to, or needed to talk about something that is not necessary in the present and future. Okay, not about the past. You don't have to answer my questions. You don't need to answer any questions. Awak tak perlu, okay, because you're free at that time. You're not arrested yet. Maybe you're just a suspect or something. I didn't put up with your behavior anymore. I didn't put up with your behavior anymore. Okay, saya dah tak mahu dah puas dah dengan perangai awak yang tidak elok ni. Next one, the explanation here, we use didn't have to, didn't need to, or needn't have to talk about something that was not necessary in the past. Okay, remember, don't and need and needn't, sorry, a present and future, but we have to have didn't, meaning it is for the past. So, I didn't have to go to court. I didn't need to go to court. Okay, saya tak perlu pergi ke mahkamah sebab saya bukan tertuduh. Mungkin saya witness or something. The one that is not being called to court. I didn't have gone to court after all. Saya dah tak perlu pergi pun. Okay, I wasn't the suspect, for example. Okay, there is a difference, however, between didn't need to and needn't have. We use didn't need to say that something was not necessary in the past. Okay, dulu, bukan sekarang. We don't know whether or not it happened. Kita tak pasti dia berlaku atau tidak. Kita pakai didn't need to. Sorry. We use needn't have to say that something did happen in the past, although it was not necessary. Okay, we use needn't have to. We use needn't have to say that something did happen in the past, although it was not necessary. Okay, the examples here. They didn't need to call the police. It was not necessary. However, we don't know whether they called the police or not. Okay, dia tak bagi tahu yang dia telefon ke tak polis. Another example here. They didn't have called the police. They called the police even though it was not necessary. Yang ni confirm benda tu dia buat. Dia dah telefon polis in the past, but tidak perlu. Okay, it wasn't necessary. Okay, the first version kita tak pasti action tu dibuat atau tidak, tapi kita tahu satu benda lah, it was not necessary, tidak perlu. The second one, didn't have, confirm dia buat action tersebut, however it was not necessary, benda tu tak wajib buat atau tak perlu buat. Okay, I hope you're still with me. Next we have 6.7, prohibition, larangan atau tidak membenarkan, tidak dibenarkan. We use mustn't to say that something is not allowed. Mustn't is short form from must not. We use mustn't to say that something is not allowed. You mustn't steal, it's wrong. Okay, you must not steal, it's wrong. Basically, just very simple, must dengan not. You can short form them. contractions, or you can use the long form must not. Okay, depending if it's writing form or speaking form. 6.8 possibility, kemungkinan. We use may, might, or could to express possibility in the present or the future. We do not use could in negative sentences. Okay, could cannot be used in negative sentences. Only may dengan might. He's guilty and he may do time. Okay, dia masuk jail. He is guilty and he might do time. He's guilty and he could do time. Okay, tiga-tiga ni maksud dia sama. If there's not much evidence, they may not find her guilty. If there's not much evidence, they might not find her guilty. Both meaning the same. You can just use either may not or might not for negative. Do not use could. Next section, we use may, might atau could plus have, the word have, plus a past participle of a verb to talk about possibility in the past. We do not use could have in negative sentences. Okay, could have is not used. Sama macam atas tadi. Example here we have for positive affirmative sentences. The burglar may have got into the house through the open window. The burglar may have got into the house through the open window. The two other forms are the burglar might have got into the house through the open window, or the burglar could have got into the house through the open window. Okay, tiga perkataan. May, might or could, have, and then a past participle verb. In this case, got. Another example for the negative sentence. She didn't say hello, so she may not have seen us. She didn't say hello, so she might not have seen us. Okay, may atau might kena ada. Not is indicating the negative, have fixed, and then seen the past participle verb. Verb change ikut whatever action it is going on. Next one, we have deduction. Okay, membuat kesimpulan. Bukan tolak. Deduction also mean tolak. But in this sentence, we are talking about membuat kesimpulan. We use must or can't to show that we are almost certain that something is or is not true. Okay, kita dah pasti dah benda tu betul atau tak betul. Kalau betul, kita pakai must. Not true, we use can't. Examples here. He prevented the man from robbing the bank. He must be very brave. Mesti dia ni berani sebab dia tolong menggagalkan seseorang lelaki tu untuk merompak bank. Another example. They can't be criminals, they look so ordinary. Mereka ni taklah, bukan penyenayah, nampak biasa saja. Maybe that's the sentence. Another time we use deduction in our modal verbs is we use must, can't, couldn't, have, and past participle to talk about the past. This is for past, something in the past. Examples here. She was the only one in the room. She must have taken the money. She must have taken the money. Okay, 3 words. Must, and then have, and then a past participle. In this case, taken. Another example. They can't have found the man guilty. There wasn't any evidence. They can't have found the man guilty. There wasn't any evidence. They couldn't have found the man guilty. There wasn't any evidence. Okay, can't have found ataupun couldn't have found. Okay, to indicate that it is a negative in the past. And lastly, we have modal verbs for advice and criticism. Okay, memberi nasihat ataupun criticism. We use should and ought to give advice in the present and future. Okay, you want to give advice, you use these 2 words, should ataupun ought to. Example here. You should lock up your jewelry when you go away. You should lock up your jewelry when you go away. Ataupun you ought to lock up your jewelry when you go away. You ought to lock up your jewelry when you go away. Another one when you want to express your criticism is you use should atau ought to plus have and plus a past participle. Okay, example. They should have sent him to prison. They should have sent him to prison. Or they ought to have sent him to prison. They ought to have sent him to prison. Okay, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, that is all for the notes on modal verbs. Sorry. Okay.